So this is week 4. This is the culmination of everything. This is kind of like tying it all together in this Neotarian Diet program. So what we're going to go today is we're going to go over some customized, how to do your own customized meal plan, and different tips on how to eat when you're going out, when you're in a hurry, and that kind of stuff, okay? So let's see here. Right, so there's other things we've learned, like your calorie intake, your macronutrient ratios, and keeping in mind, of course, your fitness goals. This is all going to wrap it together. So the first thing that is, I think, very important to talk about is the gradual changes method. And so with the gradual changes method, you aren't worrying about trying to be perfect Neotarian, right away. It's a lot more. You'll have a greater success if you use this method of changing one thing at a time and not beating yourself up if you stumble, right? Because it happens. Usually the only way someone ever does a complete 180 and is successful in it is when they hit rock bottom. And I'm hoping none of you are at rock bottom when you're going through this program, and rather just looking for a way to better yourself. All right. So anyway, with the gradual changes method, it's an instrumental tool in making healthy, lifelong changes to your daily nutrition. So some of the guidelines you'll see there with the bullet points: replace bad food with healthier food that you enjoy. Seems simple enough. With that one, make a list of the foods. A lot of times it's very helpful to make just like a list of your top 3. These are the 3 that really are going to make me fall. I know I got a sweet tooth. I really love ice cream, for example. Okay, what can I have instead of ice cream? Maybe I'll make chia seed pudding, which is with Greek yogurt, a little vanilla extract, chia seeds, some coconut milk. Pretty healthy. And it's a great alternative to ice cream. But identifying the things that are your stumbling blocks, and then identifying as well a healthy alternative, something that you think will work. Okay, eating fruits and veggies for snacks seems simple enough. If you are planning ahead and eating these, making sure you always have your fruits and vegetables with you, you're going to eat them when you get hungry. If you don't bring a snack along with you and you get hungry, you're going to stop at a gas station or somewhere else and grab a snack that is not healthy. So you just have to plan ahead. It's just that simple. Use Greek yogurt instead of mayo or sour cream. Once again, that's a pretty simple swap. Once you start doing this simple trick, it'll completely change your whole mindset on, wow, this is easy, because Greek yogurt on everything tastes wonderful. I'm not even kidding you. Remember, use the full fat version, but it tastes great. Drink water instead of flavored drinks. This is a tough one, because if you're used to drinking something with flavor and then you switch to just water, it's going to seem pretty bland. And giving you a good alternative, really all you got is tea, because all the flavored drinks out there, and I mean all of them, are going to make you gain weight. Even the ones that don't have any calories, because they have artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners will make you gain weight. So when searching for an alternative, it has to be tea. It really does. If you can find something else that I'm unaware of right now, go for it. But pretty much everything's got sugar in it, and sugar is your enemy when it comes to losing weight, being fit, and being healthy. Okay. All right. Of course, with the tea, you can always make it iced. Make your tea, put it in the fridge, cool it down, add some ice with it, whatever. Make your own tea. Just don't buy store-bought tea. It's always got sugar. All right. Eat whole grains instead of refined and processed grain. When you're eating any type of grain, and it comes in a product such as pasta or bread, it's mostly refined. And you can find whole grain bread, but they did use flour. Same with pasta. Whole grain pasta, well, they still use flour. Flour is a very refined form of the grain that converts instantly into sugar once you ingest it. Okay, your blood rushes with sugar. That's what we're trying to avoid. That's what makes you gain weight. So when I say like use whole grains, it's it's better. It's the lesser of the evils. However, if you are going to use whole grains, you want to be having like you're having barley and you're having amaranth and you're having like actual grain that you're going to use with your foods, and to that effect. Okay, add fresh veggies to all meals. This should completely happen. You should never have a meal without vegetables. Cook them in a pan on the stove, steam them in a pot, just warm them up in the microwave. Whatever it is that you got to do in order to make them palatable. Eat them just raw. That's fine too, of course. But with every meal you have, you got your, for example, your brown rice or your quinoa. You got your lean protein source, and you got your healthy fat, and you got your vegetables. You always have to have vegetables. If you don't have vegetables with your meal, you're half-assing it. I'm going to say it. You're half-assing it, okay? Just always having vegetables in the fridge. If you got to swing by the store every single day and it takes you an extra 10 minutes out of your life just so you can have fresh produce every day, your life, you think, okay, well, that's 10 minutes a day. Guess what? That's going to add years to your life. Years to your life. So you're actually saving time by adding time. You dig? Cool. Okay. Make food at home instead of ordering out or buying prepared foods. When you make food at home, it's always going to be cheaper. You're saving money and you're saving time. Because going to a store, going to a restaurant, sitting down, it can be for an experience. Maybe it's a special occasion. Maybe it's Saturday night. Maybe it's date night. That's fine. It's okay. You get to have a cheat meal. But you can't be doing it every night or even every other night or even 2 to 3 nights of the week. One time a week. That's what you should allow yourself. And, buy the food, make it at home, be healthy, live a long and fulfilling life. Right? Snack on nuts instead of chips and crackers. I've said this before, but chips and crackers are made by the devil. He's not trying to help you. He's trying to make you gain weight and give you diseases. It's true. Don't eat chips and crackers. Unless it's your cheat meal. Then enjoy. But snack on nuts. That's a good one. Okay? Berries satisfy a sweet tooth just as well as candy do. It really does. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. Make sure you have some berries on hand. If berries are too expensive for your blood because they're out of season at that point in time, buy frozen bags of berries. You just let them thaw out a little bit. You can still eat them, and you can mix those frozen berries with a little Greek yogurt. You can mix it into like some chia pudding. There's things, and like I've said before, look on Pinterest, look on Instagram, just Google stuff and find ideas on how to eat healthy, because there's a lot out there. There's a lot of people that are putting a lot of time and energy into making sure that their awesome healthy eating ideas are made known. So you just got to look for them. This is school. School's in session. You got to educate yourself. Okay? So those are just a few of the many tips and tricks that you'll want to use to change the way you eat. The big thing here is that popular culture does not want you to eat healthy. They don't want you to. They want you to eat their sugary products. If you have not watched the documentary Fed Up, it's on Netflix. And if you don't have Netflix, ask one of your friends that has Netflix for their login and passwords so that you can watch the Netflix and watch Fed Up. You might even be able to just look it up on YouTube. I'm not sure about this, but it could be on YouTube. It's a pretty popular documentary on what popular culture, the media, is forcing onto us through a lifetime of advertising and marketing. And you don't even know it's happening, and until you become aware and like wake up out of this bad dream, you're just going through the motions. You're like, well, why can't I lose the weight? What's going on? And then you watch something like Fed Up, or you go through a course like this, and you realize that it's the food. And it's all full of sugar, it's all full of preservatives, everything out there. If you're not making it at home, it's going to make you fat. Big corporations make a lot of money off of your nutritional ignorance. But not for long, because you're getting educated right here, right now. It's very important that you're doing this. It's your turn to take the power back right here. And so, if you watch Fed Up and you're like, I'm fed up, I can't believe it. You think, soda pop shouldn't be sold in schools, and they shouldn't have, pizza for lunch at schools. You're right, they shouldn't. Well, what can I do about that? You can not buy the garbage anymore. You can buy healthy food, and you can tell people about it, and you can tell people to watch documentaries like Fed Up and Super Size Me and Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. There's a lot of them out there, a lot of documentaries that are very eye-opening. And then, of course, doing a course like this. Send people to Freedom Fitness. We'll talk to them about nutrition and trying to educate them. But you'll have to ignore the media and advertising if you want to live the life you're seeking. You have to ignore it. So, moving on to the next page here. How to write your own meal plan. 3 things that make people gain weight. 3. Processed food, sugar, and alcohol. Turns out that one in the middle there is sandwiched in between those because it is usually always contained in processed food and is always contained in alcohol. So, sugar really is the biggest culprit here, even though it's not number 1. I put it in the middle because it is part of both of those. Processed food, sugar, and alcohol, though, they're going to make you gain weight. You're not going to be able to get lean until you try and cut those 3 things out. Okay? Because you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. You might have heard that before. I'm going to say it again. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. So you have to get the diet under control, and then the weight and the workouts, it'll come off. No problem. So when planning out what you should be eating and not eating, always keep these 3 things in mind. And it's probably good to write them down on a sticky note, a piece of paper, whatever. Put it on the fridge. Put it, if you use the same notepad for a shopping list, put it on the top of that notepad that you use for your grocery shopping list. Okay? All right, so step 1, plan it out. You're going to write out a meal plan for the next 1 to 2 weeks. And just a little note here, it's easiest to use 3 meals and 2 snacks just because the way our society's set up, you wake up, you can have breakfast. You go to work, you get a lunch hour. You come home and you have dinner. You fit some snacks in there, and that's just an easy way it fits into our culture. You don't have to do 3 meals and 2 snacks. You can do 4 meals, you can do 5 meals, and fitting snacks in wherever you have to. But like I've said before, don't worry about how much you're consuming as long as it's the right food. It's quality, not quantity. A calorie is not a calorie. If you look at 150 calories of almonds versus 150 calories of Coca-Cola, 150 calories of Coca-Cola is going to make you gain body fat. The 150 grams of almonds will not. The almonds will break down slowly in your digestive system. It will release slowly over time. It doesn't spike your blood sugar, therefore your body doesn't put out insulin to store it as fat. The Coca-Cola spikes your insulin, boom, way up. Insulin's going out, fat storage happens. Calorie is not a calorie. You have to eat the right food. Let's see here. So the number of meals you eat and the order is not nearly as important as the types of food. I already said that. Okay. Let's see here. Quantity and quality. I'm just reading through what I have written down here. Make sure I'm not missing anything as I'm talking. And you, of course, are reading through here at the same time. And then to save time and money, plan to have the same meal 2 to 4 times a week. Okay? Until you really start getting the hang of this, just eat the same foods. I know variety is the spice of life. I know. But when you're learning something new, trying to throw all these different variables in there, it can become confusing. So make it easy on yourself and just, only have like a few different meals that you're going to be having. Stick with those. And then after you get accustomed to doing this with your meal prepping and your planning and your new grocery shopping, add in new meals. Get a little creative here and there. I know I've said this before, I'll say it again. Go get herbs and spices. Make sure that you've got onion powder, garlic powder. Make sure that you've got chili powder if you like it spicy, cumin, paprika. Get all these things and start experimenting with them and put them on your foods. They're delicious. You got to have olive oil on hand. You got to have different vinegars on hand. Apple cider vinegar and balsamic vinegar and white vinegar and red wine vinegar. Have all these on hand. You can get different infused olive oils and stuff. But if you have them, and then you start using them, you realize your healthy food can be very tasty, and sometimes you can eat the same thing and just make it taste different by the, the spices that you're going to put on there, the herbs and spices. It works real nice, okay? Let's see here. And then there's an asterisk next to this next point here. After you've laid out a meal plan for yourself, you please review it in person with myself or with any one of the other trainers here. And just, we want, our feedback will be, I think, very useful to you. And we might have some other, additions, subtractions that will also, of course, be very useful. And, it's just helpful to bounce something off of someone that knows about the subject. So make sure you're doing that, okay? Write out your meal plan and bring it in and talk to one of us about it, okay? Creating your own meals. Here's how we're going to structure this. Start by choosing a protein type for your meal. So, and this is, once of all, well, of course, you're going to go back to like the shopping list that we had in week 1. So look at that shopping list. So look at your different food categories. You got the protein, you got your carbs, all these things. So protein, what kind of proteins? Choose a protein. Then pick out a complex carb or a blend of complex carbs. I really like blending complex carbs. My favorite little blend is brown rice, black beans, and corn. I love that blend. And I just, mix so many different things with that. It's delicious. I really like it. And you'll find your own too, one that you really like. But you got to start experimenting. That's how it all works. So next you're going to pick out a healthy fat for cooking with. Your olive oil on there or whatever, you're cooking. So you got to have your healthy fat, and of course, like I say, if you weren't able to really put a lot of, I only put a little olive oil in there when I was cooking it. Well, no big deal. Just add some hemp seeds on top after you're done, And so what I'll do is either it's, flax or hemp with whatever I'm eating, just, sprinkle a tablespoon on top of whatever I'm going to eat. If it's a liquid, I'll put the chia seed in. The chia seeds, they need to, kind of sit in a liquid in order for the shell to break down. So I really mainly just use those with smoothies, or I'll put them in my oatmeal because I'm mixing my oatmeal with water. But otherwise, it's always hemp or flax that I'm mixing with my foods. Okay, and then last, of course, number 4, here come the veggies, because you have to have veggies with every meal. The largest portion on your plate that you should be looking at is the veggies, okay? So you got an example there of how it could look for a day. Half a cup of oatmeal with half a cup of berries, a tablespoon of flaxseed, and a hard-boiled egg. Had that this morning. Love it. Snack, half a cup of fibrous veggies and a half a cup of cottage cheese. I think, did I write this for what I ate today? Because I had that today, but I had it with Greek yogurt. We got 4 to 6 ounces of chicken for lunch with a quarter cup of brown rice, quarter cup of beans and veggies. Once again, pretty close to what I ate. The snack, I don't eat nuts, but you can eat nuts. I can't, I'm allergic. I know, it sucks. But, apple or banana, some fruit right there with some nuts, or an avocado, something like that. 4 to 6 ounces of fish, a cup of quinoa, or half a cup of quinoa, and a cup of sauteed veggies. Beautiful. Beautiful. So if you plan your meals to consist of these same ingredients, you'll simplify your life. It really just, like I was saying earlier, okay? Once again, changing the seasoning and veggies and the sides allows more food freedom. Use the food list. That's how you're going to get some of your creativity and your options. Avoid adding artificial sweeteners. Make sure you're looking at nutrition labels. Most sauces that you're going to come across are going to have added sugar in them. You want to avoid using those, but if you have spices that you're becoming accustomed to using, you'll find that you don't need sauces. You can put olive oil on top of your food. Like, I'll cook with olive oil. Well, my wife cooks with olive oil, but then when I put the food together on the plate, I'm still adding more olive oil, and then I'm just putting spices on it too. I used to always use sriracha. I love sriracha, but there's ingredients in there that I just really don't want in my body every day, numerous times a day, even if it is a small amount. But olive oil and some chili powder with some garlic powder and some onion powder, I'm pretty much getting the same type of flavor kick that I was getting from the sriracha, and it's perfectly healthy. Perfectly healthy, nothing wrong there. It's making me healthier. Anyway, let's see here. Try using natural oils, just said that, okay. If you want more ideas, I do have a recipe book that I put together It's called 101 Healthy Recipes, so ask me about that if you're interested in getting that. Grocery shopping. So once you've written out your meal plan, you have to construct a grocery list. So the grocery list here is just going back up to that example for any day, and all I've done is, whatever I'm having, I'm writing down on the grocery list, and that's what I'm getting. Okay? That's pretty simple, straightforward. What are you going to plan to eat, and go ahead and go get those ingredients so that you can make the food that you want to eat on your sample meal plan. All right. Remember to only buy as much food as you can eat before it goes bad. This is important because it will piss you off, and you'll stop wanting to buy vegetables if you buy too many vegetables and you don't use them and they go bad. You're like, why do I even buy these things? They just go bad on me. Well, don't buy so much. I did mention a little bit earlier, just go to the store, just pop in for 10 minutes. If not every day, every other day, just pop in, grab some veggies, some fruits. If you buy too much, they're going to go bad. It's fresh produce. It's going to go bad. You'd want it to go bad, because if it wasn't going to go bad, it wouldn't be fresh produce, and it wouldn't be life-giving to you. Okay? So it's a good thing that it goes bad. You just got to eat it before it does. If you do have a blender and you are making smoothies, if once something starts to go bad, that's where it goes in the blender. Well, it looks like I'm having a smoothie. I don't want this stuff to go bad. Throw it all in there. Boom. Down the hatch. Yummy. Okay. Let's see here. Right. Last page. Tips for making meals more healthy. I've mentioned this numerous times. My favorite way to add healthy fats is to just put ground flax or shelled hemp seeds. It's about everything I eat. Tablespoon or two of olive oil. There you go. We've always got a big bag of spinach or like Power Greens, Power Greens blend in the fridge, because you can add that to everything. It's low calorie. It's giving you so many nutrients. Good for smoothies. Good for electrolytes too. Helping you stay hydrated. And there's protein. It's superfood. It is, and it's your own superfood you can make right in your house. Well, you can't make it, but you can make it into your food at your house. You could grow in your backyard if you want to take the time and energy. Anyway, so try and stay away from pasta altogether if you can, because it's a slippery slope. And pasta, like I say, even if you get the whole grain or whole wheat pastas, it is going to rush you with blood sugar. You do have to be very cautious with how much you're going to be having. So if you can stay away from it, stay away from it. If not, make sure you're cooking it al dente. This is just, so it's not soft, it's just slightly hard still. And use tomato-based sauces make sure that they're low sugar. You don't want to have a, really sugary. Most of those tomato sauces out there too, a ton of sugar in them. Just look at the nutrition label. And you can make your own. You can buy a can of like stewed tomatoes and tomato paste. Find, some ingredients to put together that wouldn't be full of sugar. You can make your own. It's not, out of the thought process here. And if you want like a nice little recipe, hey, just Google it, right? As my little 4-year-old says all the time, Google it, Daddy. It's pretty cute, I know. Anyway, let's see here. So tips for eating out at restaurants: avoid buffets. Should be a no-brainer. Duh, don't go to buffets. You're gonna overeat. Because if you don't overeat, you're not getting your money's worth, because they're expensive, because they're planning on you overeating. Anyway, don't do it. Choose from the light or heart healthy menu. This is on here, but it can be a trick, because a lot of times in these light or heart healthy menus, there are hidden ingredients. Hopefully, if you're choosing from this, you have learned enough throughout this process to be able to, see what is in something and be able to identify. Ask, what the sauces are made of. What is this sauce? If there's a sauce on this light food, and can I have it on the side? And if you get it and it's sugary, maybe you just ask, hey, can I just have some olive oil for this? There you go. All right, don't be afraid to make a special order. I feel like a lot of people in our society, and mainly because I think a lot of times it's a lot of waiters and waitresses that will kind of give you the stink eye if you're like, I want this but not that, and can you take this and put it in there? And you're like, oh, it's such a high maintenance customer. No, it's totally fine. If you get a lazy waiter or waitress and they don't want to make a special order for you, then just don't tip them a bunch. But still make the special order, because you're at that restaurant, and then the owner of that restaurant, the manager of that restaurant, wants to make sure that you come back. So if you have a special order, they're going to do it for you. They want to do it for you because they want you to come back. Oh, you enjoyed your special order? Great. Love to have you come back again for another special order sometime. Wonderful, right? Okay. Yeah, it just affects their tip. It saves you money. So if someone's giving you the stank eye when you're ordering a special order, oh, you saved yourself some money. Great. Wonderful. Thanks for giving me the stink eye. Let's see here. Watch portion sizes and take home leftovers. If you get a big meal, take some home for later. No problem. 2 meals in one. Double the value. Share a meal. This is kind of a nice thing. Sometimes you're like, hey, I might want an appetizer. I might want a main meal. How about you and me split an appetizer and split a meal? Sound like a good idea? Cool. But of course, appetizers, a lot of the appetizers are really bad for your health, so you got to be careful on those. But anyway, you get the idea here. Ask for sauces and dressing on the side. We already said that. Remember the big picture. Eat conservatively earlier in the day if you know you're going to be eating a big dinner. Sometimes you can't get around it. I'm going to be going to this function. It's going to be a really big meal, and it's going to be naughty. We'll just don't, have too much to eat prior to that, and make sure you work out that day, and just go in there hungry. Right? Cool. Okay. Don't fill up on liquid calories. Don't order soda pop. Just don't drink it ever. Like, it's so bad for you. Regular soda pop, diet, it's so unbelievably bad for you. I can't even believe it's allowed. Like, I can't believe kids can drink it. Like, adults, we can drink alcohol because we're over 21 and we are aware of what we're doing to ourselves when we drink alcohol, right? But no one has really gone through the extent to make us aware of what pop is doing to our bodies, and it's allowed for children to have. This is ridiculous. I mean, honestly, once again, watch some documentaries, go online, Google it. There's so much information out there about what pop does to your body when you drink it. There's harmful ingredients that they're not even allowed in European countries. Coca-Cola has to completely make a whole different Coke formula to ship to Europe because it's not allowed. Because our Coke formula is garbage and toxic. So they do a different one. Amazing. Thanks, FDA. All right. Let's see here. Ask for lemon wedges to put in your water. It's fine. It's delicious. Lemon and water. It's healthy. Tips for eating on the go. Grab some fruit on the way out the door. When you're leaving, you got to grab a snack. And if you are buying fruit every other day to every third day, you should have a fruit bowl. Grab some fruit. Take it with you. It's easy. Keep a supply of healthy meal replacement bars, dried fruit, or trail mix handy. So you've got a glove box in your car, have some of that in there handy. So when you're out and about and you're like, oh, I forgot to grab fruit, or I didn't have fruit, you got something. You don't have to swing in somewhere and get something bad in a moment of weakness because you're starving and you're becoming non-functional. I become non-functional. I really do. So I got to have stuff ready to go. Instead of fast food, hit a grocery store and have them make you a fresh sandwich at the deli counter. Delicious. Not the best choice because bread and deli meat both aren't that healthy for you, but remember, we're looking sometimes for the lesser of the evils. So, okay, sourdough, just so you know, sourdough bread is one of the best breads. Because of the way they make sourdough bread, it doesn't rush your blood sugar as much when you eat it. Okay, so if you are going to have a sandwich, go with sourdough. If you are going to use lunch meat, go with turkey. And there's less additives in turkey versus the roast beef and the ham and the other meats. So go with turkey, go with sourdough, forego the cheese. Most places have avocado, have them put avocado spread on there, get some veggies. Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually making me hungry. So that's something you want to keep in your little bag of tricks for when you're out and about and you need some food. If you have to eat pizza, we're going to have a pizza party, everyone. Make sure this is a vegetarian pizza. Pepperoni, salami, sausage. It's not meat. It's not. They make you think it is. Oh no, this comes from this animal. It's not meat. They are not taking T-bone steaks. They are not taking the nice cuts of pork. They are not using good cuts of meat that you want to eat and making these products. They're not. They're using, I'm not even kidding you, they're using organs and other tissue ground up with the leftover pieces of, connective tissue and stuff, and they're putting it in pepperoni and salami and sausage. Don't eat it. It's not good. You don't have it. Okay? Get the vegetarian pizza. Hawaiian style pizza is one step above that. The Canadian bacon, it's okay. It's got pineapple on it. But once again, maybe just go for the vegetarian. Okay, buy a decent sized cooler bag so you can bring your meal prepped Tupperwares with you and eat clean wherever and whenever. You got to be ready to meal prep. You got to be able to take it with you. It's got to be convenient. It's got to be handy. Always think ahead 3, 6, and 9 hours. And plan out what you'll eat so you can be prepared with the foods from home or ready to make a smart decision on where to find healthy food. It's all about being prepared. I think I wrote this in one of the last weeks, but if you fail to plan, you're basically planning to fail. So make sure you got everything lined up, you're ready to go, and take it with you. And then when you're hungry, you got your Tupperware. It's a healthy meal, delicious. Okay, so that's the end of week 4. That's the end of the course. Remember, make your meal plan, bring it in. I want all of you to bring it in and check off that you've done this, because if you haven't done this, you haven't completed the course, and you're just, you're not diving in. Even if it's just something, roughly sketched out on a scratch piece of paper, that's fine. Let's just come in and talk to one of us so we can make sure that you're ready to move on to the next stage of the evolution of your nutrition. Okay? There we go. Happy Neotarian dieting.